Hi guys, Joe here and welcome to our Euro 2016 Group A preview. Over the course of the next 2 weeks and in the build up to the tournament, we're going to be bringing you a different group preview featuring the best teams, the best players and our predictions. I'm joined by Patrick Van Straten, so Pato, let's kick it off.
And we start off with France, who qualified automatically as hosts. They've got an incredibly deep squad this year and they're being led by Didier Deschamps. Joe, tell me about the team.
Yeah, they're going to be very, very excited because they're playing in France, home nation. They are in fact the last home nation to win the tournament. 32 years ago that happened back in 1984. And of the 3 international tournaments they've won, 2 have been in France, so we can expect them to perform well under a home crowd with such an amazing squad, Pato.
Well, they might well need that boost at home because it's a relatively inexperienced squad. The average caps per player in the squad, just 27. On the other hand, at the other end of the spectrum, they've got some very old players in key positions. So their first choice fullbacks, Patrice Evra and Bakary Sagna. Now these are 2 very good players with a lot of pedigree, but their combined age is 68. That's not exactly what you want going into an international tournament.
Yeah, you mentioned then they've got some really exciting young players though, the likes of Griezmann coming through, and one name in particular for me I want to mention, Paul Pogba. He's my man to watch at this tournament. I think he's going to try and take his game to that next level. He's done it in the Champions League, he's done it domestically for Juventus. He had a fantastic season this season. He actually provided the joint most assists in Serie A from central midfield, which is a fantastic stat. And I think he's going to need to take his game to that next level, show he can do it at an international tournament, and he could well be in for a big summer move, I think, this year.
Well, that's an interesting question. Where do we think Pogba can take the team? Where do we think they'll end up? How will they do in Group A?
I think they're going to top Group A, that is for sure. How far they can go in the tournament all depends on their mentality and how well they gel as a team. For me, I think they're going to reach the final. What about you, Pato?
I think that they'll reach at least the semi-finals. They're actually my favourite to win the tournament. And if they top the group, then they're likely to play Turkey, Sweden or Ukraine in the next round. So it could be a relatively easy march to at least the quarterfinals for Didier Deschamps' team.
The next team in the group we're going to mention is Romania. They're a very solid team, Patrick. Tell me a little bit about them.
They've actually had the best defensive record in the whole of qualification for Euro 2016. They conceded just 2 goals in 10 games. However, the other end of the pitch has been a bit of an issue for them. They actually went through a 428-minute goal drought during qualification. That's the longest in the Romanian national team's history.
Well, not good, but you mentioned a little bit there. Key to their whole side is their defence, and 2 of the defenders, you might well remember him if you're a Premier League fan, Razvan Rat of old West Ham days, and Vlad Chiriches of Spurs, who's since gone to Napoli and is struggling to get into the team there. They're going to be the key men to this Romania side. If they stand any chance of getting out of that group, it's all going to be about how they structure that defence, and it's going to come down very, very tightly, I think, at the end of this group. Pato, where do we see them finishing?
Well, that tight defence could well take them to 3rd place in Group A. I can't see them finishing higher than that. The problem is that only 4 of the 3rd place teams in the group stage will go through to the round of 16. And we don't know whether their record will be good enough to take them there. If it is, the likelihood is that they'll face Germany or England in the 2nd round. So it could be a really ugly knockout stage for Romania. Next up is Albania, their first time qualifiers at a European Championship. Joe, what do you think of the team?
Yeah, they're not particularly great, I think it's fair to say. They scored just 7 goals in qualifying, although they did get that quite remarkable, really. 1-0 away win against Portugal. Fantastic result for Albania. However, they qualified, didn't they, with that automatic 3-0 victory over Serbia when the game was abandoned because of that drone flying overhead, and that contributed towards their 10 goals overall. 3 of them came in that game, and that was an automatic win. So for me, they're not a great side, and they will really struggle here.
But their key player is Taulant Xhaka. He's a midfielder at Basel, and if you recognise that surname, it's because his brother Granit, until recently, was playing for Borussia Mönchengladbach. Now, Taulant is a technically sound, intelligent midfielder, and if he and Granit face off against each other in Group A, they'll be the first brothers to play against each other at a European Championship. But how far do we see them going?
We don't see them going very far at all. I think it's fair to say we're going to put them down as nailed on bottom of this group. Sorry, Albania, you've just not got enough to go through. The final team in Group A is, of course, Switzerland. They're actually a very, very strong team this year. They finished 2nd in England's group in qualifying. They've got some very, very strong players in particular. However, historically, they've never got out of the group stages at European Championships. Patrick, tell me a little bit about their squad. Who should we look out for?
Well, for me, the key player is Granit Xhaka. He's been a real bulldog in the middle of midfield for Borussia Mönchengladbach over the last couple of years, makes a lot of tackles and interceptions and patrols that area really well. He's got a wonderful effort, and actually Switzerland often push him further forward. They play him in more of a number 10 role. Now, he actually qualifies for the newly minted Kosovo national team, which FIFA has just kind of ratified. But he decided to stay with Switzerland. But there are a bunch of other players as well who could be really integral to the Swiss's progression.
Yeah, they definitely could. Briel Mbolo is one name we want you guys at home to look out for. He's a 19-year-old forward who plays for Basel, a fantastic prospect. However, they will be missing Gökhan Inler, their most capped international of all time. Of course, he couldn't get into that Leicester City team ahead of Danny Drinkwater this season. However, that could be a big miss for him. But nevertheless, Patrick, where do we see them going and where are they going to finish in this group?
Well, it seems clear that they'll finish second place. That seems the obvious place for them to end up. And if they finish in second, they're almost certain to face Poland in the second round. Now, that could be tough because of Robert Lewandowski, but if they can shackle him, then they could well make the quarter-finals, which would be a really impressive performance for Switzerland.
So that was our Group A preview, but what do you guys think? Where are the teams going to finish? Let us know in the comments below.
And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to check out our La Liga Team of the Season and keep an eye out for our forthcoming group previews.
And as ever, guys, please do like and subscribe.
Catch you next time.